Hello guys, I hope you all are doing good. I am Vishaliki Khan and we are discussing the VLSI technology. In that we are discussing the photolithography process, and today in this session we are going to discuss in detail the types of photolithography. I hope you all have seen the previous lecture where I discussed the introduction towards the photolithography process and the photoresist. We discussed the photoresist in detail and the four components that are making the photoresist. If you have still not watched the previous lecture, I recommend you strongly go and watch the previous lecture first. So today we are starting with the types of photolithography process. I already gave a brief introduction about the positive photoresist and the negative photoresist. So here we are starting with the negative resist first. So we have mostly the negative photoresist which are having polyisoprene type, which means exposed photoresist will become cross-linked polymer, and which means exposed photoresist will be hardened out. If I have the cross-linked polymer, it is much harder than the normal photoresist polymer. Okay, so this cross-linked polymer is hardened out and then it cannot be easily removed, and this is how we remove the softened out photoresist which was already there, and then we have the masks. So this is used for the patterning process. Now cross-linked polymers have higher chemical etching resistance. So don't understand this resistance word as the electrical resistance. It is not the electrical resistance, it is the etch resistance, which means the hardened out cross-linked polymer is very difficult to remove out. Okay, and this is how we are unable to remove the hardened out polymer, whereas we are easily removing the normal photoresist that we had already developed on the wafer. So we can easily remove the photoresist which was there inside the mask. So we have unexposed part which will be dissolved in the development solution. Okay, so the exposed part will be becoming hardened out and the unexposed part are softer parts which will be dissolved in the developmental solution. So this is how the negative photoresist is working. Here I have the mask. Mask is making the photoresist unexposed. Okay, so this portion is unexposed from the light. This is the light which is falling on our wafer, so this mask is preventing the light from falling in this particular region. Here also in this region the light is not falling on the substrate, and this is the reason this light green portion is softer portion and this olive green portion is the hardened out portion. So we can easily remove the softened photoresist. As I told you, it is not a very hard solid, it is just a semi-solid material and we can easily remove it. So here we can remove it, and this is the reason we are having the mask over here. But the problem with it is that we are not having the good resolution of these masks, and the properties of the transistors depend upon these masks only. Okay, the transistor as well as MOSFET's property depend upon these masks only. If the masks are not very high resolution type of mask, we will not get good transistor or good MOSFET. So now here we have some disadvantages of negative photoresist. As I already told you, we have the resolution problem, then we have the polymer which absorbs the developmental solution. So we require the more developmental solution for this process. We have the poor resolution that I have told you, but why? Because the photoresist swell. If it become the polymer, it will be swelling. So if the photoresist is swelling, it will be occupying the actual masked region also. So this is the region we are not getting exactly square type of bare mask, and we are not getting a very high resolution in this process. Plus we have the environmental and the safety issue due to the main solvent present here. The main solvent is xylene, which is hazardous, so we have the safety issues here. Now the comparison of the photoresist. You can see we have the negative photoresist because it got swell out. Okay, so you can see here it is swelling out at the edges, and this is the reason it is having the poor resolution. Okay, it is actually on the substrate film. This is actually shifted over here, but it is like this only. On the substrate we have the film, and over the film we have the negative photoresist. On the negative photoresist we are not having the exactly square type of edges. You can see the edges are swollen out, and this is the reason we are not getting the proper mask. Whereas in the positive photoresist we have the film, and over the film again we have the photoresist, but you can see the accuracy of the edges in the positive photoresist, and this is how we have two types of photoresist which are different. Now coming to the positive photoresist, here exposed part will dissolve in the development solution because exposed part will be softened out. Now whatever mask we want to make on the photoresist, same we will be making on the mask that we are using as a glass mask. We are having the same image on the photoresist. It will be having higher resolution, we have already discussed about it, and this is commonly used in the IC fabrication, but this is costly. So everything has its advantages as well as disadvantages. Here we are using the Novolac resin polymer. So Novolac resin polymer is actually the polymer in the positive photoresist. I have told you 4 components of the photoresist polymer: sensitizers, additives and solvents. So we have these 4 types of materials. Now polymer is Novolac resin polymer. So we have the solvent which is acetate type of solvents in this. We have the sensitizers which are cross linked within the resin. So energy from the light will dissociate the sensitizer and it will break down the cross links present in the polymer. And when the cross links are break down, then what happens? We are having the softened out photoresist. Now we can easily remove this softened out photoresist. Resins become more and more soluble in the base solution. Now the question arises that positive photoresist can achieve much higher resolution than the negative photoresist. Then why didn't people use it before 1980s? It was developed in the 1950s itself, but till 1980s we were not using it. The positive photoresist is actually more expensive, and therefore the negative photoresist was used until it has to be replaced when we got the minimum feature size, which shrunk smaller than 3 micrometer, because smaller than 3 micrometer feature size we cannot make with the negative photoresist, and then we have to switch to the positive photoresist, and the positive photoresist is costly. And this is the reason, this is actually one more reason why we have the compact ICs which are costly, because we are using the positive photoresist here which is costly. So now coming to the chemically amplified photoresist. As the name suggests, some chemicals are amplifying the photoresist properties. So this is the chemically amplified photoresist. Here we are using the deep ultraviolet light or DUV, where the lambda is lesser than 248 nanometer. This lambda is representing the wavelength. So here we can use the excimer lasers as the light source, and you can see the light intensity is lower than the eye line. So what is eye line? Eye line is 365 nanometer. We can use the light intensity lesser than that, and we can use the high pressure mercury lamp for that. So we require different kind of photoresist for our process. So now we have the catalysis effect, which is used to increase the effective sensitivity of the photoresist. As I have already told you, if the sensitivity will increase, I require the lesser intensity of light, plus I require the lesser time as well for the photolithography process. So I require a good sensitizer. So here we are using the sensitizers as the catalyst to increase the sensitivity. So a photoacid is also created in the photoresist when it is exposed to the deep UV light. Okay, so this photoacid we have to carefully handle. So during this process, the head-induced acid diffusion will cause the amplification in the catalytic reaction. So when the catalytic reaction will increase, the sensitivity will further increase, and this is the reason this acid diffusion must be controlled very precisely. Acid removes the protection groups as well, and we will be having exposed part which will be removed by the developer solution. So this is the diagram which represents the chemically amplified photoresist. So you can see before the chemically amplified photoresist process, we have here the protecting groups. So this is my exposed photoresist. Now what is happening, if I have some chemicals, the chemical will be acting as a catalyst and it will be removing the protecting group from here. So now when the protecting group is removed, this photoresist can be easily dissolved. Before that, if I have the protecting group associated with the photoresist, it is very difficult to remove the photoresist which is protected by the protecting group. So what is the requirement of the photoresist? First of all, we should have high resolution. We should have higher and higher resolution as we are moving towards the minimum feature size. Okay, and when we are moving towards the feature size which is lesser than the 3 micrometer size, then we should carefully control the resolution. So the thinner photoresist film has the higher resolution. If I have thicker photoresist film, its resolution will be worse than the thinner PR film. Thinner PR film will be having the lower etching and ion implantation resistance as well, and this is the reason we have better resolution in the thinner PR film. We have the high etch resistance requirement, then we have the good adhesion requirement. The photoresist must be adhering on the very carefully adhesive on the wafer surface. So we should have good adhesion for the photoresist, then we should have wider process latitude. Okay, so we should have higher tolerance to the process condition change, because we are having a sequence of steps and in all of the steps we have various conditions. So this process will be tolerating this all of the steps and all of the processing conditions that we are having in this process. So now coming to the photoresist physical properties. So photoresist must be able to withstand all of the processing conditions that are there in this process, like coating, spinning, baking, developing, etch resistance, ion implantation, blocking. So I should choose my photoresist very carefully so that it will be tolerating all of the conditions associated with all of these processes. Now, what factors determine what kind of photolithography process we have? First of all, resolution. I require better resolution. I require better adhesion as well. So, exposure rate should be minimum. I require lesser time for this photolithography process so that my chip making will be faster. I require more sensitivity so that exposure time will be less. I have already told you how sensitivity and exposure rate are related and how exposure rate and exposure time are related. And I require an exposure source which is easily available. I don't require any exposure source which I cannot get easily. So now we require the process latitude. I require a lot of conditions which are tolerated by this photolithography process, because there are a lot of steps and a lot of steps require a lot of different processing conditions. So pinholes should be removed. So there should be lesser and lesser defects, and the particle and the contamination levels should also be decreased. Then we should have step coverage, okay, uniform coverage of photoresist on the wafer surface. Then we should have a proper thermal flow. Now, what is resolution capability? Okay, so as the resolution word, it represents what type of accuracy we have in the mask. It represents the smallest opening or space that can produced in a photoresist layer. It represents how much small window or how much small opening I can make for the making of the doped region or for any patterning process. It is related to the particular process including exposure source and the developing process as well. So we have already discussed that the thinner layers will be having the better resolution, and the etch and implantation barrier and the pinhole free layer require thicker layers. So if I want the pinhole free photoresist over the surface, I require easy etching or implantation barrier. So if I am giving the ions, ion can penetrate through the photolithography layer as well. If I have thicker photolithography layer, ion cannot penetrate through it. If I have pinholes, so pinholes can be easily removed if I have the thicker photoresist layer. So now this is the requirement of the thicker layer. Positive resist has the better resolution due to the smaller size of the polymer. So now summary. Okay, so if I talk about polymer, in the negative photoresist I have polyisoprene, in the positive photoresist I have Novolac resin. So what is the photoreaction? In the negative photoresist we have the polymerization. In the positive photoresist we have the photosolubilization. Actually the exposed part will be becoming soluble, and in the negative photoresist it will be becoming polymer. So in the sensitizers that is used in the negative photoresist will provide free radicals for the polymer cross link. Okay, and this is the reason they will be linking a lot, and there will be a lot of ease in the making of the polymer in the negative photoresist. In the positive photoresist we change film to the base and it will be becoming more soluble. So now additives in the negative and the positive, both type of photoresist we are using the dyes as the additive so that it will be reflecting the light. So these are the references and these are really amazing books. If you want to discuss this topic in further detail, you can refer these books. So if you have still any kind of doubt, you can put the doubt in the comment or you can reach out to me. I will be trying to resolve your doubt as soon as possible. I hope you like this session. If you like it, please push the like button, subscribe to the channel and also share it with your friends. Thank you so much.